All right, so let's just settle. You can have both feet flat on the floor if you are sitting at your desk. And take a nice deep breath. And then just feel the weight of your feet in the floor, the backs of the legs in your chair, the weight of your sits bones in your chair, and just feel your hands in your lap, and align the shoulders, your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just imagine you lengthening the spine. And then go to the crown of the head and just relax any tension there. Relax your scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, back of the head. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. And just focus your attention on your breath. Just noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. Be aware of any sound in your environment, any potential distractions. It's kind of dripping up here in the forest right now. It's raining a bit. And then there may be distractions on your screen, on your phone. So just be aware. And then just see the extent to which your mind will travel out to that sound, that distraction. Then just check in with your mind this evening. How's it doing? How are you doing? You may have some stories going on. Just allow those stories to arise and abide, and then maybe let it go. Try not to judge what's in your mind. Just allow it to be there. And then bring to mind all the people of our life. So you know there is this little section in the power of reliance on developing compassion. So this equanimity meditation comes in this working on bodhicitta comes towards the end of the Lam Rim. And the very first step in developing bodhicitta is developing equanimity. So that's what this little meditation does. It sort of helps to set us up to think about compassion. So you have your friends, your loved ones, your strangers, and then people you don't like so much or you have aversion for, and you just realize that because of this idea of impermanence, these relationships can change. They shift and change. And then also remembering everybody's equal, really. They're just like you and me in that they want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have an extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings, and for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, and equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. We start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day and in this life and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering. So we think a regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering, I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think I'm sick of this suffering. And then we're kind of thinking, well, okay, so what do I do about this? Where do I turn? And then here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, and it has two sections. So the first section is refuge. Refuge. So we rely upon the Buddha, who we see as a doctor. And he has these methods that we can use to heal ourselves, that we can use to purify. And we're not needing this higher power to forgive us, to take anything away. We're doing the work ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He has a beautiful, radiant, blissful face. His eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and they're very peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed like this, it represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have this section B on developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So think of the beings we've harmed, the beings who've harmed us, and just have a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think of people that you've maybe harmed recently or in the past. Maybe generally all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. Wish for them to be free from suffering. And then the ones who've harmed you, and particularly these ones, because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. And when that karma is going to ripen is very uncertain. Could be most inconvenient. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for all of these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we then come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice, and we're using visualization and mantra. So we start with the body. Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, light coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring out of you until it pouring into you, and then it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. Next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. And this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space. Not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless kind of stupid speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've walked into a room, it's dark, you flick on the switch, the light comes instantly. So it's the same here, it's this fast. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and bitterness and grudges and anger and disappointment and jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Ambhadra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Ambhadra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So now is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So remember, the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, and then nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and blasts all the delusions, and this is how you're eradicating even these very, very subtle imprints. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sutukaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sutukaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom left of negativity in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And then we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's really crucial. Because here we need to make a determination. We have to decide not to harm with our body and our speech and our mind. Without making a decision like this, we're just going to do the same old things over and over again because we have these really strong habits and karmic patterns, and maybe not even from this life. So this determination is, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So you want to aspire to do this. So, think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Don't make a big deal. Just something, maybe set your phone, your time, a notification. Hey, think about this for a couple of minutes. And it's all about also developing awareness around all our habits. I mean, maybe catching ourselves. Something to do with our speech, maybe. And then imagine, Vajrasattva is really delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think, the way things appear to me may not necessarily exist the way we think they do. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then we can just take a moment here just to rejoice, because these different powers, power of regret, power of reliance, power of the remedy, power of resolve, they all purify the different karmas. So power of regret purifies the karma called experience similar to the cause. So the action of the thing that's actually happening to us, that's regret. The power, the experience similar to the cause. And then reliance purifies environmental karma. The power of the remedy purifies the fully ripened result, the lower realms. And then the power of resolve purifies a habit to keep, purifies all these habits that we have. So it's kind of magical when it all comes together like that. It's pretty cool. So rejoice that you've purified all those different karmas. So we don't go into much detail, but Venerable Ravina mentioned it, so I thought I would pass it along. So let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. We're a little bit over, sorry everyone. Beginningless, complexity devoid, by nature pure, reality in essence, unwavering, a speaker of the truth, with speech and actions perfectly aligned. A teacher of the non-dual truth, non-dual, atop reality's most lofty peak, with selflessness his wild lion's roar, instilling fear in deer-like misled seekers. With journeys fruitful, travelling everywhere, as swift as thought in all Tathagatas, a victor slayer of foes, triumphant lord, a universal king with forces great. So let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift discovery of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then all of your own individual teachers. Okay. And Lou, what's your chicken's name? You have to unmute yourself.
Frida Klux.
Rita Klux?
Frida. F-R-E-I-D-A.
Frida Klux.
Klux, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, well, good night, Frida Klux. Okay. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Thank you for hosting, Shona. Okay, bye.